Hi, my name is Ariel Mile, and today I'm going to be talking about COVID-19 in Greensboro and reopening the city for good. So, I know we're all tired of COVID-19 and staying at home. However, we do have to remember that we are in the middle of a pandemic. So, what do you think Roy Cooper's response should be to reopening North Carolina and Greensboro for good? This information comes from WFMY News, and it's about Phase 1 in North Carolina. So Phase 1 took place in May 8th. Mostly all businesses closed down except for important ones like grocery stores and gas stations. Also, the North Carolina Department of Public Health decided to approve testing for COVID-19, and social distancing was also put into place where you had to remain 6 feet apart from the next person. And also, washing hands were very encouraged during this time as well, and there was also a stay-at-home order and a curfew as well. So this information comes from WII 12 News and Roy Cooper himself. So during this time, a lot of businesses reopened except for parks and places like skating rinks as well. And hospitalizations increased 56%, and testing averaged about 17,000 tests as well. Also during this time, face masks and gloves are required in public places, and there have been over 1,000 new confirmed cases since Phase 1 as well. So this is the predictions with Phase 3 and reopening society. This information comes from a conceptual framework of reopening society, and they had 3 main points. The first one is accepting the risk of going back out into society, which is basically just about accepting the fact that we would be going out into COVID-19 without any protection. And so the second main point, which is in this chart, is about estimating the risk index, which is basically just the people who are at a higher risk during this pandemic. So that people who are at the highest risk, which is red and orange, are elderly people, and middle risk, which is yellow, is healthy adults, and the blue and green are teenagers and younger kids. So the third point is using the risk index of societal values to guide decisions. Societal values basically has to deal with your own values and going out into society without any protection, which would be just going back to the way things were, just because we feel as if we're just tired of being at home instead of putting our safety first. So examples of this is the highest risk would be, visiting an indoor bar without any, mask or protection because you are surrounded by a lot of people. Now, something in the middle would be, going back to school, but with masks and stuff, because we still are protected and we still keep a 6 feet distance away from the next person. And something at a lower risk would be small businesses reopening, because they can clean out the store. They can also control how many people they let in, especially with face masks and gloves. So my personal experience with COVID-19 is that COVID-19 didn't really start to affect me until I felt like I had to leave school for the first time. Also, a lot of my friends' parents did get COVID-19, and they were affected as well. Also, during Phase 1 of the pandemic, as I started working at Zaxby's, and we were not required to wear face masks or gloves during this time. But as we moved on to Phase 2, we were required to wear face masks and gloves as well, and so were the customers, and that's like that in a lot of stores in Greensboro as well. So, should Greensboro reopen for good? Well, according to WII 12 News, Roy Cooper did put a hold onto Phase 3 to July 17th due to the cases increasing. And this chart comes from Cornelius News, and is basically just showing the North Carolina's new confirmed cases of COVID-19 from May 19th to June 18th. As you can see, they are increasing, and the 7-day average is 1,229 cases, 26 cases. And this source comes from the News and Records in Greensboro. So basically, Guilford County, which is where Greensboro is located in, has the 5th most COVID-19 cases in North Carolina. And Guilford County has the 2nd most COVID-19 deaths in North Carolina. So due to all this, Roy Cooper will not be reopening North Carolina for good. So a surgeon named Angelo wrote an essay about how they have to put their ethics aside and the lessons they learned with COVID-19. So what they learned was that surgeons are doing everything they can to help us during COVID-19, which means they have to put their ethics aside to where they put people with COVID-19 cases in front of everybody else. With that being said, we want to make their job easier by staying at home as much as we can, wearing face masks, social distancing, so that they don't put their families at risk and that we remain safe and they remain safe as well. Also, he did include that cases are increasing as we're letting things reopen as well. So we do want to keep that into consideration because we are going to be around more people. And I know we're all tired of staying at home, but with our governor thinks the best thing to do is to keep quarantining, to keep everything closed, to keep wearing face masks, and so that the charge can decrease. And so thank you for watching.